my name is Ashley. I am the founder at Free Spirited Faith and a master creator. I specialize in helping other people like yourself to create their dreams into their reality as well. For most of my adult life, people have consistently told me things like, I wish that I could live your life, or I wish that I could create the dreams that I have as well, or I live vicariously through you. These things are meant to be compliments, but they hurt my heart. Actually, they make me really sad, because what I want is everybody to be living their own dream into their reality, and I believe you can. So when somebody tells me they wish that they could do what they want to do, I believe they can. That's why I have created online courses and my programs to help people to understand how that they can create their own dreams into their reality as well. Because every day that you're not living your dreams is a day that you're giving up your happiness and your passion and your enthusiasm for this beautiful life that you were given. So today I'm actually at this very ornate place in Bali looking over the rice fields as I am participating in a multi-year world tour that was a dream of mine. So my husband and I have been traveling the world together for the last 2.5 years, living this dream of mine into my reality. I've always wanted to travel the world with my husband and have a world tour honeymoon, and it's finally become my reality in the last 2 years. So I didn't just magically end up here. It was a process, it was a formula, it was a step-by-step plan that I created to make this dream into my reality. I have been studying the science of creation and the science behind the law of attraction for over a decade now, and I've learned some very key secrets and components that you need to utilize in order to successfully create your dreams into reality. Over the last couple decades of working one-on-one with hundreds if not thousands of people, I have learned that many people do not understand these basic core components that are necessary for you to create and live your own dreams into your reality. And because they don't understand the core components, they're not able to create their dreams. And that is very unfortunate. Because honestly, like I said, I believe that anyone who is willing to put in the effort, anybody who takes action and the steps to learn from people who have already done it, anyone who is willing to sacrifice to get something of lesser value, to get something that they want of a greater value, anyone that's willing to do those things can live their dream life. I have experienced it in my own life. I've witnessed many people experiencing it in their lives, and I've seen it happen all too often to believe that it's not possible for people. I know that it is. I know with my whole heart that it is, and I want to help you to understand how you can actually do the same thing too. Because it makes me so happy when I see other people living their own dreams. Like I said, it breaks my heart when people tell me they live vicariously through me, and nothing brings me more joy than knowing that you're actually living your own dream. And so that's why I've dedicated my life for the last 10 years to learning about the law of attraction, to learning the science, to learning how I can make it work into my life so that I can then share it with other people to help them do the same. I'm really excited to help you learn. If you feel like living your dreams would require you to win the lottery first, or maybe find the lost city of Atlantis or something similar, and it's just out there, something that you have no idea how to do, I have a solution for you. I am here to teach you. I have learned through lots of study and education for over a decade now, and a lot of trial and error how to do this. So at the beginning of my life, early on, I was what we call an unconscious creator. I was just unconsciously creating my dreams into my reality. I was doing a lot of cool things. I moved myself to Alaska, I moved myself to Hawaii, to Maui to learn how to surf. And that's what my life path was. I was just going along, living my dream, one dream after another, and that's why people started telling me, wow, I wish I could do that too. Then I had a tragedy. So if you're sitting here thinking that's great for you, but you don't understand me, you don't understand my trials, you don't understand my challenges, you don't understand my life situation, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, whatever it is that you feel is blocking you from your dream, I'm here to tell you that you can overcome that. I have overcome many challenges and obstacles along my path. Yes, I live an amazing life now. I'm on year 3 of a world tour with my amazing husband. I've visited over 50 countries and all 50 states, which was a goal of mine. And I became financially free and retired myself at 37. So it was my goal to retire before 40. I hit it, and I've been on this world tour ever since. So I got to this point, but I didn't start at this point. I started with a lot of struggles and a lot of trials, and I've continued to have those struggles and trials. So this isn't a magic formula where everything just always works out. Like, you still have to grow and learn, and you learn through trials. You learn through experiences. So to get higher, you keep going through different trials and different experiences to do better and better in your life. So once I've shared this formula with you, you will be able to use it to create whatever dream or goal you have into your reality. That doesn't mean that you won't ever have another trial or challenge. So I want to share a little bit of my story with you to help you understand, that I have been there. I've been at points in my life where I was depressed, where I was struggling, just not even wanting to get up in the morning. I didn't see the point in living anymore. I thought, maybe if I just steer my car into that wall, I could be done. And that's a very sad place to be. If you're in that place, please don't do it. There is a much brighter future for you. There is a much more beautiful world that you can create your life for yourself. But I just want you to know that I've been there. And I know some people have so many trials and so many challenges going on in their life that they're wondering what the point is. They feel depressed, they feel overwhelmed, or they just feel stuck, like nothing new is happening, and they don't know how to create their reality into their life. That's why I'm here to show you how. I have a proven success formula that will help you to successfully create whatever goal or dream you have into your reality. Whether it's an ideal relationship, whether it's travel goals, or goals to start a new business, or pursue a passion of yours, or a goal to buy a new home, or a financial goal to get financial freedom, to retire, to become a millionaire. Whatever your goal or dream is, you can use this formula to get there. It doesn't matter if the dreams are big or small. I've used the formula to create some small things, like when I didn't have the funds to pay for someone to edit my book, I attracted someone to edit it and create a cover for it when I was first starting out. So little things didn't require money. There's a lot of miracles that I've witnessed that didn't require money. So if you're one of those people that are in the position where you don't have money for rent or groceries, I've also been there. And you will be able to figure out a way to create this into your reality if you choose to do so. If you decide that you're going to do it no matter what and you commit yourself to it, I promise you that you can make it happen. Your commitment alone is what will drive that. So let me just briefly share a little bit of my story. The first time I heard about the law of attraction, which I'm sure most of you have heard of, it's a very well-known law. Unfortunately, it's little understood. So most people know about the law of attraction, and many people try to use the law of attraction, which is one ingredient. So they learn one part of it, and it's like you have the flour, so you go to bake a cake. But they don't have the recipe, they don't have the formula, they don't have the rest of the ingredients, so it doesn't work for them. Maybe you're one of these people. Maybe you've tried it before and it didn't work, so you don't believe in it. Or maybe other people have told you that it's crazy, it's woo-woo, or you've told yourself that. Especially if you have tried and failed, or not got the creation you're working on, or you've witnessed somebody else do it. So for my personal story, when I was a teenager was the first time I heard about the law of attraction. My mom started going around telling everybody that she was a travel agent. I knew that wasn't true as her child, and because honesty and integrity are so important to me, it actually really bothered me to hear her tell people that. Because I'm like, that's not true. Why are you telling people that? And other people told her that she was crazy, they made fun of her, they weren't very nice, honestly. They weren't supportive of her and her goal and dream. And unfortunately, because she didn't have a guide, she didn't have someone who had already done it, she didn't have a map, she didn't have the rest of the ingredients, she only had the flour. Flour doesn't bake a delicious cake. It's the main ingredient, but it doesn't bake the cake. So she had one ingredient and no direction. She was trying her best to implement the one ingredient that she had, and it didn't get her the result because she didn't have the rest of the recipe. So that was very unfortunate for her, but I know what it feels like to have people look at you and think, oh, that's crazy, or to have your own doubts and wonder if it actually works. I'm here to tell you the law of attraction is as real as the law of gravity. It is a spiritual law of the universe and law of creation. It always works. It either is working for you or against you. So I want to help you understand how to better get it working for you so that you can create more of your dreams into your life and stop creating the things that you don't want in your life. So as I said before, I was going along living my dreams as my young adult life, and I wasn't having problems with it. I'd have some challenges, but whatever, I believed in my dreams and I would just create them over and over. So people started saying they wanted to have my life. And then in 2010, I actually went to a seminar with my mom, and I thought they were all woo-woo, crazy. They were talking about energy and how you create your life. And then I heard one particular speaker, and he taught the science behind the law of attraction. He taught why it works. He showed scientific research and evidence of how it works and helped us to understand from a scientific perspective how it worked. And that was the first time I shifted my mindset to be like, oh, maybe it's not woo-woo. Maybe it's true. But I still didn't really care because I was out living my own dream. So I bought his book, but I just went on my way. I spent the next year in Maui learning how to surf, teaching myself how to surf, and being a surf bum, which was a dream of mine. And I was doing just fine. Then I decided I wanted to come home and live another dream. I wanted to marry the man of my dreams, the man that I was deeply in love with and was planning to build a life with. So I moved home to marry him to start our life together. That's when tragedy struck my life. That's when things took a turn for the worst, the absolute worst. He had met somebody while I was gone in Maui, and he continued to pursue both of those relationships. He didn't let her go. So he was bouncing back and forth between the two of us. Meanwhile, I was thinking that we were getting ready to start a life together, to have a family, to build a home. And that didn't work out for me because he cheated on me. And that ended in a very dramatic, disastrous event for me. And at that point, I lost all my enthusiasm for life, all my excitement, all my goal, my drives, my dreams. I felt like everything had been ripped away from me. So I was planning to have this family with this man. I lost him. I lost his child that I had co-parented for several years before that. So I lost the family that I loved. I lost my family support. I didn't have anybody in my family to support me. My family's not a close-knit family, and I was on my own, so I felt all alone. And I actually, when I confronted him about his cheating with this woman, I slapped him, and I went to jail for that. I got charged with domestic violence and got a criminal record. I had previously quit my job just 2 weeks before that because I was planning to go back to Maui because I had suspected that he wasn't being faithful. And so I was planning to go back to Maui and continue my life there as a surf bum. And so I had no job. I had a new criminal record, which made it so I wasn't able to get a new job. I had no family support. I had lost the family that I loved, and I became very depressed, very suicidal. I didn't make a plan to exit the world, but like I said, I thought about things like, what if I just drive my car into that wall? And I didn't want to keep going. I didn't want to live if I couldn't have the family that I loved, if I couldn't have the goals and dreams that I wanted, and it just seemed very pointless. I felt stuck, I felt exhausted, depressed, and lost. So if you have felt that way, if you currently feel that way, I absolutely know how that feels. Now fast forward a decade, I achieved my financial freedom. I attracted my amazing partner. I traveled all over the world and achieved my travel dreams. I created 2 businesses that I love, things that I'm passionate about, making gourmet chocolate and helping people change their lives. And I have a very successful life now, doing everything that I want to be doing, and I'm very excited about it. But that's not where I've always been. So what happened to me after that catastrophic event in my life is I spent 1 year completely depressed, not wanting to get out of bed, struggle. I didn't have a way to get a good job, so I was just working anywhere I could to piece money together. I was struggling to pay rent and buy food. And so a year later, I had to go meet with my ex to sign some papers for our taxes because I desperately needed that money just to pay my rent. And I went and met with him, and he looked at me and he said, "Who are you? What happened to the independent, courageous, driven, strong, beautiful woman that I knew?" And I was so angry. I was like, how could you possibly ask me that? You're the one who did this to me. I felt like the victim of his choices. I felt like he'd made choices that put me in a terrible place, and now here I was dealing with that consequence by myself. And I was really angry. And then I went home and I thought about it, and I realized, you know what? He's right. I have given up my power. I've given up my passion. I've given up my drive. I've given up my desire, my will to live. I've given up everything because I allowed that incident to take it from me. And I wasted an entire year of my life in that depressed state. So I decided to take action. That's the first time that I went and invested in a program to help me to create something different in my life. Now, I didn't have the money. I was barely paying rent. I had to go ask my parents, who had not been super willing to support me in the past, if I could get some money to take a program to help me it was supposed to help me to become a millionaire. It was supposed to be a financial freedom course, and it was supposed to teach me about abundance. So I pitched the course to my parents in a way that I knew that they would be willing to help, and I took $20,000 to go invest in creating my own dreams into my reality. And unfortunately, that course didn't work. And I was able to get some of the money back from it to use to invest in another program because I wasn't giving up. I knew that my heart needed something different. I knew that I needed to invest in something different for myself because there's no way I could stay where I was and keep creating the disaster that I was living. I needed to create something different. And I had been taught by the man at the conference that taught me about the science of creation that I was the creator of my reality. And if I was the creator of my reality, I definitely couldn't continue creating that reality. So I took matters into my own hands. I signed up for another big program. It was $10,000. These were not inexpensive programs. I did not have money. Again, I was living in my car at times, unable to pay rent, unable to buy food, and I knew that I didn't want that life, so I figured out a way. I gave up a lot of things. I made a lot of sacrifices. I went to trainings in California for the next 2 years every month. I would work all day at a job, whatever little job I could piece together. I would drive through the night, 13 hours, sleeping as little as I could to get there safely, and go straight to the training the next morning at 8 a.m., getting there just in time to attend. I would attend a 3 to 5 day workshop with very little sleep, give it everything I have, and sleep in my car at night because I couldn't afford to pay for the rooms at the hotels. They were like the Hilton, the Marriott, the nice places I couldn't afford. So I slept in my car at night between the conference, and I would go every day, and then I would drive through the night again to get back home to work the next morning. So again, I didn't have time, I didn't have money, I didn't have resources, but I believed in my dream, and I knew that I had to create something different. I saw that other people had done it, so I knew that I could do it, just like I know you can do it. You're not different than anybody else. You have your own different struggles, your own different life experiences, and you're still a divine child of the Master Creator, which means you are able to create. You can create your reality and your dreams, and I know you can. I've seen it happen over and over. So I kept giving it my all. I kept sacrificing. I kept sleeping in my car. I kept going without meals sometimes. I was figuring out how to pay rent. I had to go to my church to get help at some points along this path. I had to go to the church and say, hey, I can't pay my bills. I can't pay my rent. I can't buy food. Can you help me? They told me to ask my family, which I had already asked. And so I was like, well, they're not willing. So the church gave me help. It was so humiliating. I totally get it. If you're in that place, my heart breaks for you. I understand. It is hard. It is devastating. And you might feel like stuck and overwhelmed and hopeless, not sure what to do. I absolutely get it. And that is why it is my passion and my mission to help pull people out of that place. Because I was there myself. I know what it's like. It is dark. And I don't want anyone to stay stuck there. I want you to live a dream life that you're passionate about, that you love living, and I know it's 100% possible for you. Okay, so I kept going, I kept struggling, I kept on my path. I had discouraging things happen. Things started to fall into place though. Things started to work. Things were working less consistently than I wanted, but sometimes they would work, sometimes they wouldn't work. Some things I could create, some things I couldn't create, because I didn't have all the pieces still. I still didn't have the recipe. So I spent that entire decade studying from different teachers. I invested tens of thousands of dollars that I did not have, but I figured out how to create so that I could create something different. In 2020, I went to 2 retreats back to back with one of my greatest teachers who taught me how to create my dream life. I knew that he could do it, and so I figured out a way. Again, didn't have the money. In 2019, I had had one of the worst years of my life. My dad had died, so the first worst year was in 2012 when I went through that traumatic catastrophe that ended my relationship. And then in 2019, I had the second worst year of my life. I had gone through a second divorce. I thought I'd found my dream partner, married him, didn't work out in 2017 and 2018. Within a year of that, my dad suddenly died very unexpectedly. My family, the little bit of connection that we had, fell apart completely. I never had a close family, but we became completely separated. I lost contact with several of my family members, and it was really devastating. I was inspired to buy a house at that point, which made no sense because I didn't have any money or any resources to buy a house, and I hadn't been able to have a consistent job because I had a criminal record still. It took 7 years to get that off my record. So I hadn't had consistent income or a consistent job to prove to get a loan for a home. So all the odds were stacked against me. The reason I'm sharing it is because if it's you and you're thinking, but I have this and this and this and this, trust me, I've had so many odds stacked against me. And yet, here I am in this beautiful paradise, living my dream, and I absolutely know you can too. So the key was not to give up. There are other secrets and keys that I will teach in this masterclass, so make sure you tune in. I'm excited to share them with you. And of course, I can't teach everything I've learned in over a decade in a short little presentation, but I will give you as much as I can, and I would love to help you to continue on this path of creating your dream into your reality, because I know you can do it. I've seen it happen. I've seen that transformation. I've alchemized my own pain, my own challenges, my own heartache, my own depression, my own sadness into joy, love, abundance, passion, excitement, and living a dream life. So I kept going. I had this awful year in 2019. Struggle. 2020, I invested in another $10,000 in 2 back-to-back retreats to help me to create my dreams. And I feel like that was when the puzzle pieces finally fell into place. Everything didn't happen overnight. 2021, I still struggled to get out of it, to build things, to create. But in 2022, I finally achieved the goal of financial freedom that I had been working on for a decade. I was 37 years old, and I sold my house and started traveling the world. And that's what I've been doing for the last 3+ years. And my goals were to travel to at least 50 countries, to travel to all 50 states, and to hopefully find somebody along the way to share it with, to create an amazing relationship with a great partner. And I achieved all 3 of those main goals. I've now been to 55 countries, all of the states in the US, and I have an amazing husband, a partner to share this journey with. We have been traveling around the world together for the last 2+ years, and we're still going, and we're super excited, and we're building an amazing life together. We had a dream wedding that I created on a beach in Costa Rica in 2019. We had that beautiful ceremony on a beach in Costa Rica with my family in 2014, and then we lived his dream of eloping in Sicily in Italy, which is his favorite country, and we had a beautiful castle wedding gala celebration with our friends. We were creating a beautiful life together, and this reality is something I'm so grateful for. It is something that I have worked hard to create. It's something that I spent over a decade creating. It's something that I created in that retreat, those 2 retreats in 2020, and I am so happy to be living it my reality. So I share all this with you because it's my story, and it's your story. Your struggles, your triumphs, or your trials, your hard challenges can be overcome. They can be your triumphs. You can alchemize those challenges into your success. I absolutely believe you can. I have a map. I am ready, willing, and excited to share it with anybody who's ready to take action. Anybody who's ready to step forward, step back into your own power, step into creating your own dreams into your reality, and is willing to take that action to make those dreams your reality. Tune into the Masterclass. I'll be teaching some secrets there that I have learned, like I said, from working one-on-one and coaching people, health coaching at first, and then now dream coaching for the last several years. I wrote my first books and started teaching my first courses with Free Spirited Faith in 2014. So it has been a decade now of teaching, and I would love for you to be the next person that I'm able to help change their lives, because I believe in you. I've been told throughout my life that I have a compass or a map and a compass that seems to just guide me in my life, and I believe that's true for you too. I think the challenge is that many people have forgotten that map and compass. So it is my goal and my mission to help you unbury it, to rediscover it, to take back your power, to reclaim your passion, and to live your purpose. And I want to help you find that map and compass to help you do it using the tools, techniques, and proven strategies and formulas that I have to do exactly that, to help you create your dreams into your reality starting now. So please turn into the Masterclass. Make sure not to miss it, because I will share some secrets on that will help you to be successful.